Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Your Shop. Today we have Giby. He's a getting towards endgame player. Seems like a good dude. Another Floridian. I don't actually know what the name is. Floridaite? Do you know what the name is?
I think it's Floridian.
Wow, really? I was just making a
Yeah.
joke. That's hilarious. So good. So anyway, we're going to be featuring him in today's episode, so I'm excited about that. So let's get into it. Take us through your shop.
All right. So I get start off by saying I am not a free-to-play player. Not that I throw my wallet wholeheartedly at this game, but I definitely do enjoy the occasional pack or bonus that way through gyms and what have you. So unlike some of the players at my level, I'm maxed out on the shop as far as size. Um, I've been trying to just find different resources through your videos or other people's videos about shop layouts and trying to maximize different things. Um, so I tried to do a closed shop design. Not sure if that really is more beneficial or not, but it's been working decently enough so far. And obviously, you just see kind of the extra resources thrown out here. This was for the event, which I've rapidly grown disinterested in and stopped.
I think many of us have, yeah.
Other than that, normally this section back here is filled up with um, just extra shelves and racks and that kind of thing for more energy. So this is not normally like this, but
Okay. So how much energy do you normally have? Like, what does your normal gameplay look like? Because obviously you're not
uh,
going to have like max spins like you do right now.
yeah, normally I think it's around 2,300 energy with
Okay.
the current shelves and racks and the current level of them. So it's not a lot. Mainly one of my goals through this video is to find out if there's optimizations that I can uh, do throughout my gameplay, if I'm doing things incorrectly or inefficiently, or if I need to focus on other areas that I've otherwise neglected.
Gotcha. Cool. How have you guys been doing in the event? What does that look like? Like, let's talk
Um,
guild and that sort of thing.
So I got a couple of players that are really grinding it hard. I was up here with them when the game or the events first started, and then I just quickly was like, "This is not for me." um, and reason being is, if you can tell, I craft enchantments is
Okay.
what I've switched to. Again, I don't know if that's optimal or not, but it works fairly well for me. But as far as the guild, I mean, we've been trying to do our best with this, but
Oh,
not
nice.
doing too hot.
So you'll probably hit that one well easily in the next day and then
Yeah.
see what happens. So did you put your ascensions into in wow, let me try English again. So did you put your ascensions into spirits?
I did, yeah. So to start with, all of these are maxed. So I have the tree fully done,
Okay.
and I'm starting into the. Sorry, these are the elements, and then the spirits are what I'm working on now.
Okay.
Um, so I'm most of the way through with just getting the tree done, and I'll probably continue to do that for all the tier 9 anyway. The one thing that I've been toying with as an idea is it worth crafting the chiseled rune stones and then taking that hour and that resource and crafting the elements and spirits, is it better off to just sell the chiseled runestones as is
Oh, I
from a
see what you're
profit
saying.
standpoint?
Yeah. But if you're crafting elements, then you're going to need them anyway, right?
Right.
Gotcha. Well,
But
ideally, you
for
want to be using all four of your resource types because that's going to be what's making you all your money. Do you ever spend energy to speed up your crafts?
I do, yeah. If I
Okay.
get close, or if I like right now, I don't have a lot of anything to surcharge just because I haven't refoddered my shop.
Okay.
I would take this energy and if I had stuff going, I would speed these up and finish,
Yeah.
and start a recraft.
Okay. Gotcha. Ideally, you've got um, four items there that are using all four of your different resource types that you have bookmarked, and that's just going to be your normal crafting rotation. So if you do chiseled runestorms for your herbs, and then choose one of each of the other resource types and just have those in your bookmarks. And all you're going to do is just craft those four items as your rotation and
Hmm.
constantly try to keep your resources below max, basically. So you're just crafting items constantly. And if you're doing that, that's going to be like the most profit possible. Most likely, if you're crafting three different types of elements or spirits and you're crafting chiseled runestones at the same time, you're probably going to have to buy chiseled runestones at the end of the day because you're crafting items so quickly. Just because I can't see your mouse, can you bookmark the 4 items, like just as an example of what you'd be crafting? There we go. Okay, just easier for me to see like your normal rotation. So if you're crafting chiseled, I guess sacred if you have more than enough chiseled runestones, which you have 240, so you're good. And then, okay, so you'd be doing like blaze, flood, and walrus or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And then you said that you're selling mainly tier 9s in your shop. So are you just buying those from market and then enchanting them and selling them?
So the tier 9s are usually, or tier 8s, right, are either done from questing or tower now, because tower is
Mm-hmm.
fantastic for this.
Where are your
You know,
heroes at right now? Or I guess.
um, let's see, heroes. Honestly, I don't put a lot of time into these guys. I kind of just roll with whatever comes along, and I have noticed that if you hit optimize, it optimizes for power, which we all know is useless. So
Okay.
if I see something, I actually, kind of monitor at least these top 3 here, specifically attack and defense.
Mm-hmm.
And if I see an optimization come along that does drop that, I will go back to whatever the most beneficial is.
Okay.
And then I do try to balance between, like a berserker's obviously tanky, right? So it needs more attack. I do try to keep that in mind when assigning either seeds or items and equipment to it.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't know. You can see I got kind of the common skill tiers here that I haven't
Mm-hmm.
re-rolled.
So it looks like your max level is obviously 33 now, or is it 35? Because some of these have XP now. Did you just
Yeah,
get a training
35.
hall?
Yep, we just got that to 17.
Nice. Sweet. So that'll be nice too when you can get your 4th skills on all your heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So are you doing castle quests now then?
Yeah, almost exclusively.
What do you feel like is a challenge for you right now? Or like something that you're working towards? Like you said, basically your shop has all the slots open. Looks like you have all the market slots. You've
hmm
got 10 crafting slots. So looks like you're doing well. What would you say is kind of slowing you down or an in-game goal?
Um, in-game goal to start with, I know because I'm focusing on the chiseled runestones and going mono enchantments. I'm really focusing on getting these. These are max level 15. I'm going to finish off these other 2 over here, and
Mm-hmm.
then same with like the oil pots that I'm using. Get those to max level. So that's the current goal. As far as challenges, obviously just making gold is always going to be a challenge, as
Mm-hmm.
well as gyms. Main gym income right now is if it's probably just buying them, but that gets very costly. But that's been my main source of like trying to get everything to counter upgraded to max and the 3x3 opened and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is throwing my wallet at it, which is not necessarily indicative of good gameplay.
Yeah.
So for me right now, just trying to figure out how to manipulate the market.
Mm-hmm.
You can see I'm trying, right? Like if
Mm-hmm.
I see any items and like I'll post this kind of stuff, like see if I can grab 3 from it,
Yeah.
because that's what it's going for. If I see something like this, it was the only one posted. I'll try to snag a little bit higher than you would normally think just to see if I can get somebody to buy it. If not, I'll drop it.
Mm-hmm.
If I see something like this, it's selling for 6 on market, I'll put it up for 5 and just try to be lowest price point. And hopefully it sells. The other concern that I've had is the way that I'm playing is that inefficient, because what it feels like is I make, let's say, 30 mil in half an hour of gameplay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of passively selling and whatever in shop. But then I have to go spend 10 or 15 mil to buy fodder for my entire shop again so I can drive that
Mm-hmm.
surcharge and feed the frenzy of customers. So it constantly feels like I'm taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to make 200 mil in a week just by selling the way that I'm doing, and it feels like
Oh
I'm
wow.
constantly fighting myself.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so there's a few thoughts that I have for that I think will probably help you out a lot. When you spend a lot of money on fodder, you kind of got to find that balance between like cost and what you're getting out of it and effectiveness and stuff. And especially nowadays when you're buying like tier 6, tier 7s, often they're like double or more and you're discounting them. So you're losing like 3/4 of that money that you're spending in market just to get some energy, right?
hmm
So Here's some suggestions that I would say. First is once you get a good crafting rotation, try to find 4 items that you have ascended already, because that's going to be making you more money. But if you're using your energy to speed up all of your crafts and crafting more, that's going to be making you more money over time. The other thing is that if you have, let's say, only 3 different tier 1 bins out, or even 2 tier 1 bins, and then 1 or maybe 2 at most tier 2 bins out, but you're still crafting consistently and speeding up your crafts, that's not hurting you at all. Like, you're gonna have a lot more energy max if you're able to get rid of the majority of the bins that you have out and put out racks instead. And like, even your chests right now, like, you don't really need 5 out. You could probably get away with 2 or 3. Like, there's a lot of changes in what you have out right now that could allow you to have twice as much energy as you have. And in doing that, like, let's say you're getting twice as much energy from a small talk as you are right now, you're going to have to spend a lot less money on fodder. So that's going to be hugely beneficial to you. Another thing is that, like, I've seen, let's say you have like 2 different bigger fodder items, like tier 7s or something. Make sure that you small talk both of them before you discount and sell one. Because
Right.
if you small talk one and then discount and sell it, so you get to like 500 energy or something from that, and then the next one's a failed small talk, you lose the majority of that energy, which means that you pretty much just wasted a fodder item which costed you 100,000, right? So if you're not doing that efficiently, you could be losing like 100k every single time just by doing it in a weird order.
So if I have the counter full, you're saying just go through and do, small talk, small talk, small talk, all in one fell swoop before I do any discounting,
Before you do
correct?
anything else, yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
if you small talk, discount, sell, and then your next one's a fail, you're just losing the energy that you just gained anyway. And the other thing is, like, if you have 848 right now, ideally you spend as much of that 800 energy first, and then you go around and small talk more stuff.
Right.
Another way that you could do that is, let's say you need like 65, or you only need like 17 more energy. You could suggest an item, then discount that item so that you have how much that you need, and then surcharge an item and then go back and small talk. Like, there's ways that you can kind of work around it.
So on this, you're saying like suggest this potion here
Yeah,
and then discount it.
yeah. And then you have the 900, so you can surcharge that ring.
Then
And
small
then
talk it.
small talk, and then you can small talk the potion. There you
And
go.
then sell both.
And then sell both. And so in that way, you were able to sell one plus optimize the energy that you got out of it.
Okay, that's way different than what I normally do. Like, it all makes sense, right? And that's the other thing. I guess I knew that, but it's just, this is gonna sound lazy, but it's more of a process to keep track of.
For sure.
And so I rapidly just kind of go through, and especially if I'm on PC, it's a lot easier because I can just hit arrow keys and click. But like I said, I mainly play phone on mobile, so it's a little bit more. I mean, I guess a half a second to take an extra tap on your screen, right?
Yeah.
Are we really griping about that? But yeah, generally I try not to be inefficient.
And I think another thing that might be really helpful for you is just having a handful of tier 1s even in the back. So let's say you have that one at 400 energy, and it's kind of like awkward because you need 800 to surcharge it. You don't really want to just like spend 80 energy to suggest a tier 6 to discount. So you could just suggest a tier 1 and just sell it. It doesn't cost you anything, basically. And it's just kind of like getting rid of the customer without having to do anything major with it. So you're just getting the 400 energy. You can spend it on speeding up an item or just saving it for something else, like whatever you need to do. But you don't need to be spending 100k on a discount item on that, like using really low quality stuff just as kind of like free items essentially. I think it helps out a lot with being able to not feel forced in a lot of situations.
Interesting. That's something I've never done. I generally view the lower tier items as either, junk to get out of my inventory or mats for something else, right?
Yeah, I hear you. And I never used to do that very often at all. But just lately, I found it really useful where sometimes I feel stuck and I have like 600 energy and I don't really want to small talk because I have so much energy that if it's a failure, I'm losing all of it.
Hmm.
And I want to use that energy to like speed up a craft or something, but then I have like this awkward like tier 9 item that has a successful small talk on it that I don't know what to do with, and I have no energy. But if I just have a tier 1 to kind of like off that item, then it actually just makes it so much smoother for me.
Okay. And then you're still plussing energy as a whole,
Yeah, and it's not
and you're
costing you
still,
anything. You're not losing
yeah.
any money.
Well, that's the other thing. Just as a question, is it worth it to do, the 11 tier slot? I mean, that's a lot of gems
I know, and the 12th one
in
is
one
10k.
spot.
I know. I
I
mean,
mean, is
here's the thing. The only difference that that makes for you is that you have to spend less energy to speed up crafts. That's it. Because if you're spending constantly energy to speed up crafts to keep your resources not max, essentially the more items that you have rolling at the same time, like timers are going down, then that's just less energy long term that you have to be spending to speed that up. So I mean, as a super late game play, if you've got all your furniture out and things are getting close to max and stuff, then sure. But if you spent 5,000 gems speeding up furniture upgrades and you can get like an extra 1,000 energy instead of having one crafting slot, I I have a suggestion for which one is better. You know what I mean?
right.
So I don't know. It's kind of preference, but I mean, I
Okay.
got them all just because I was grinding gems for so long, and it was just a personal goal that took forever to get to. But but I would rather have 1,000 energy than one more crafting slot.
Okay. Yeah, and that's, I was thinking that as well. Over here, right, from the ether wells back is what I normally keep. So I have 3 of each. That's probably once they're upgraded to 15, right? I can cut down to maybe 1 or 2 of each,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what I'm crafting, cycling the resources.
Okay.
Um, because I mean, I've gone through different people. You go into world chat and you see people's shops and high rated players, and they're like 1 bin of each, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how are you even remotely crafting 10 or more slots with 1 bin of each? I'm out of resources instantly.
Yeah. Basically, it takes 9 minutes to get the resources with high level buildings to start a new tier 9 item. Every 9 minutes, you're starting 4 new items. So if you're sitting there playing for a number of hours back to back to back and you're paying attention to your resource regen and doing it, I still have to speed up my crafts, even with 12 crafting slots. Probably an average of 20 minutes per item. I still have to speed up just to keep up with my resource regeneration. But
Really?
I have to be paying attention and starting new crafts every 9 minutes, or else I'm going to get behind. But yeah, I still have to speed up 20 minutes per item. And
See,
that's with the highest like level 18 buildings and all my workers leveled up.
and that's the part that I'm struggling with right now, is that I'm running out of those resources. And this is the closest, like I said, ignoring the stuff that's just kind of cluttered up here,
Mm-hmm.
because this is not normally there. This is normally filled to with storage for items and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
um, this feels balanced to me in my
Okay.
current gameplay,
Yeah, yeah.
but it also feels. I mean, just looking at what other people are suggesting and doing, it doesn't feel like should be necessary, but it is.
So that was something before for me as well that I had the same thought for. Because basically, the way life looked is that I could only log in once an hour. And so I would just log in, craft 12 items, log off, and that was it, right? And
Mhm.
so I had a similar setup to you, where my goal basically was to have enough bins that I could log in, craft 12 items, and log off. I think for you, having 3 of each tier 1 resource and only 2 of each tier 2 resource, that's still going to give you more than enough to be able to craft your 12 items at the same time, or 10 items for you, I guess.
This
So
is
let's
generally
do
what it
that now
looks
then.
like.
So yeah, put away all the extra ones that you normally don't have out, and let's just look at what it looks like. Do you have enough inventory space to get rid of any chests right now too?
Probably, yeah. Like you can see, my shop is barren because I've been selling.
My wife made me some grilled cheese.
Nice.
Oh yeah. All right, what are we looking like?
All right, so this is about how it was before. I really need to make use of the market, and I've actually point out. Let's see, one of our newer members. Where at? Let me find. He's got just a ridiculous amount of. Here we go. Cruxient has this ratio is insane
Oh my
to me.
gosh.
I mean, lower level, compared to some, and just this net worth to investment. I mean, that is mono market gameplay. I think overall, we've had our stumbles since I've been with this guild. I think for 6 or 7 months now.
Wow.
So we've definitely had our struggles, but I feel like we're at a more stable point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the type to jump ship.
Yeah.
I like to stay with the people that I'm loyal to and grow. And I don't know. Maybe that's kind of a downfall to my gameplay, right? But so far, I mean, even through that, I've only been in 2 guilds. This one and the one that I first started in. So,
Wow, that's cool.
and I think I've been playing. I'm gonna look like a terrible player now that I'm level 63 with this much time in my in the game. I think I've been playing since October of last year.
Oh
Almost a
wow.
year. So, arguably, have no clue what I'm doing. And that's really something that I've been focusing on hardcore is getting my investments up, and with that just comes making gold. So is there anything that I'm doing wrong? Like just utterly, blatantly wrong?
Yeah, let me just talk through like suggestions that I have for you and things that I think will drastically help you.
Okay.
So here's my thoughts. Because you are primarily crafting enchantments, I think that you selling a tier 9, like you've got several tier 9s up right now that people are asking for.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be selling them unless they are enchanted because you're crafting enchantments for profit. Because if you're selling a tier 9 right now and you're needing to use a couple of fodder items for it, the profit that you're getting for that is really, really minimal. Just because you're able to sell the majority of things in market for less than 100k difference from what their surcharge value is. So you're going to want to use your tier 9s that you're selling to customers with double enchants on it if you're crafting enchantments, right?
Okay.
I think the next thing is that depending on where your crafting is at, it might actually be worthwhile for you to take some time and make sure that all of the tier 9s that you're selling on a consistent basis have the 1.25 times gold value milestone done. Because if the milestone isn't done in what you're crafting, then you're losing 25% gold on every single item, and that really is going to add up over time. So you taking a little bit of time to make sure that your milestones are hit on your tier 9 items is going to be hugely beneficial for you.
Okay.
And I know that that's time consuming and it takes away from you crafting the enchantments that you're normally crafting, but even so, I think it's really worthwhile for you to do it.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely going to take a lot of work because I'm especially on the armor side of things. I mean, I'm not even to tier 8 yet on some of them because I just stopped.
Yeah, so with that being said, you just staying focused on tier 9s that you do have the gold increase for, and otherwise you could just sell the tier 9s that you don't have the gold milestone for on market and probably be making more than what you're selling for in shop.
Really? Okay.
Because people will buy, like, let's say an item is worth 400k with the gold milestone. Often people are going to spend like 700 to 750k on that item. Like, be only getting 100 to or 50k to 100k profit on that. So if you don't have the gold value on that, you're still getting enough out of market that it's much better to just sell it on market straight up, and people are going to buy it quickly.
Okay. Even post the 12% tax?
Yeah. Yeah, for
Okay.
real. And I think another thing that's going to help you out a lot is like if you're keeping your resources low and you're crafting enchants really quickly and you have them ascended and you have your multi-craft and you have your quality chance and all that kind of stuff, enchants still sell for a good amount of gems. Like anything that you're crafting for legendaries, you're going to be getting over 100 gems out of. Any purples, you're going to be getting a solid 40 gems out of. And so, if you're crafting quickly and keeping your resources low and speeding things up and just playing really fast, you're going to be getting gems consistently out of it, which means that you can use those gems either to speed up your upgrades so that you can get a higher energy count,
Hmm.
because I think that's probably going to be your next big goal.
And that's actually what I was doing right now, obviously focusing on this kind of thing. I'll
Mm-hmm.
upgrade it until it gets to a point where it's 50 million per upgrade, and it's like, all right, maybe it's more beneficial to do gyms. Um, and you said 5 guild helps is the optimal there,
Yeah,
at
so
least.
5 guild helps get you 50% done. And then if you do VPNing, watch 3 ads, that gets another 30% done. So you can spend the gold, get 80% of the upgrade done, and then just gem the last 20%. So that's what
Wait,
most people will do past like level 9, 10, 11 type of thing, because past that it takes like 3, 4 days for an upgrade. And it's never going to happen. It's going to be years of time before you get like a high energy count. So once you get past that point, it only makes sense to start gemming upgrades.
so I can do that. Anything else that glaringly obvious?
um, I don't think so, man. It looks good. Like I think with what you were saying in terms of like your normal play style, this many bins out is perfectly fine, and it's going to be better for you in terms of the time that you have for the game. I think it's good. Um, No, just making gems from crafting enchants, enchanting every tier 9 item, getting some milestones for gold, clearing out some inventory, which will probably help you out a lot.
Well, I appreciate you taking so much time here with me and going over everything. I'm sure I've got many more questions that will come to me later that I'll be, oh, I should have asked that or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, it's nice to know that I'm not completely falling on my face when I'm spending time into this game.
No, it's all good,
Uh,
man. It looks good. Sweet, man. Well, looks good. Thanks so much for doing this. It was a good time. And thank you all for watching. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed as well. And we'll catch you next time. Peace out.
Thanks.